What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to the brother Gizmo for the donation to the channel, showing love once again. And he wanted me to talk about this incident that occurred back in the 90s between Tonya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. All right, so those of us who were alive back then will remember this situation. So it occurred back in 1994, I believe in January. So these two young women at the time, I think they were in their early 20s, they were figure skaters. And Tonya Harding on the left was the sort of ugly duckling type chick. You know, I remember after the incident, the media tried to make her out to be really fugly and ugly. And I mean, I got to be honest with you, man. I guess she had a certain appeal if you're a black man, and you guys know what I'm talking about if you're aware of young Tonya Harding. Whereas Nancy Kerrigan was seen as basically the narrative afterwards was that Tonya Harding was just jealous of Nancy Kerrigan and her looks, and she's pretty, and Tonya's not, and everybody likes Nancy, no one likes Tonya. And, you know, also there was this perception that Nancy was the superior athlete, which is not true at all. I'll get to that in a little bit, but those were supposedly the motivational factors for why the attack on Nancy Kerrigan occurred. All right, so in early January 1994, in Detroit, I believe it was, Nancy Kerrigan was hit in the leg with a police officer's baton. I think after she went through a practice routine on the ice. And that's the video footage that sort of went viral. Well, I don't want to say viral, that wasn't really a term back then, but that's the one that was shown on national news at the time.
I don't know, some hard black stick. Something really, really hard. Help me.
So, you know, before this, I don't think people really knew who these two really were. But anyway, she's a young white woman. She's crying. She was attacked. So America has to get to the bottom of this shit, right? So it turns out that the attackers, once they found out who they were hired, according to their story, if I remember correctly, they were hired by the husband of Tonya Harding and the bodyguard of Tonya Harding. Her husband's name was Jeff Gillooly. The bodyguard name was, I think at the time, Sean Eckhart. Later on, he would change his name to something else. I can't remember what it was. But he changed his name because he wanted to move on from the notoriety of his name and what he was involved with. So it comes to find out that supposedly her husband and her, and to an extent the bodyguard, concocted this plot to attack to attack Nancy Kerrigan, to knock her out of competition for the 1994 Winter Olympics in Lillehammer, Norway, so that Tonya Harding would have a better shot at winning the medals or gold medal or whatever. You know, the thing that always struck me as so odd about this situation is that when you do a little bit of investigating, you find out that Tonya Harding was a superior skater. She was better than Nancy Kerrigan. She was better. Now, I do think that, if I remember correctly, I think from just doing a little bit of reading, Nancy she had won some bronze medals and some silver medals before in competition, but Tonya was the one, if you would make the comparison, Tonya was the one that could potentially win a gold medal. But it comes down to self-esteem, confidence, and jealousy. And those seem to be determining factors. Ultimately, it was found out that Tonya Harding was involved. But, women don't really get a lot of punishment in this country. I think she distanced herself and said it was really Jeff Gillooly behind it, which I think that was a lie. I think they both were involved, but I think Jeff Gillooly went to jail. I think Sean Eckhart went to jail. Tonya Harding, I think she was barred from Olympic competition for the rest of her life, which I guess was punishment enough for her. And she became basically a running joke publicly. There was even, I don't know whether this was revenge porn on her husband's part, but or maybe Tonya did this. I don't know. I can't remember all the details. But a few years later, there was even an adult movie that leaked. I think it was them on their honeymoon night, where you saw Tonya Harding up close and personal. It's not the best footage. Not that I've seen it or anything. But anyway, over the years, Tonya Harding has been involved in, I think, MMA boxing, or just boxing in general. She was on reality TV shows, etc., etc. I think she came out with a book or something. And I think recently she even created an X/Twitter page, right? Where I think her debut video had 10 million views. Now, this is the thing that's interesting about this whole situation. The attack was meant to knock her out of Olympic competition. The attack was supposed to break Nancy Kerrigan's leg. It didn't break it. She still participated in the Winter Olympics. She didn't medal. But what we also saw over time was that Nancy Kerrigan was not a likable person either. During the Olympics, I think the 94 Olympics, I think it was, she pissed a lot of people off with the way she mocked I think her name was Oksana Bayul, who I believe was Ukrainian, had been an orphan, had a horrible upbringing. But she kept mocking her. And it was all these other things that she was doing. Like, she had this appearance on Saturday Night Live where everybody that was there, the cast members, they all disliked her. They thought she was cringy. They thought that she was not a very nice person. I remember she made this appearance at Disney World. She was on the float or something in the parade or whatever you call it. And you could hear her mouth. This is the corniest thing I ever had to do. She was complaining about it. And it just didn't make any sense because she didn't seem to have any gratitude. Then it came out that when she got older, I think her and her husband, they didn't pay some Olympic skaters who were skating in their production for their, I guess, this tournament or production they had going on. They didn't pay people. And just by word of mouth, it just like so many people over the years have talked about how horrible a person Nancy Kerrigan is. It's even got to the point where some people said, well, damn, maybe she kind of deserved to have had that shit happen to her. I'm not saying she did, but, over time, people's empathy have waved when it come to her. And let's see what else I want to talk about here. Sean Eckhart, who had changed his name, the big guy, the bodyguard, he died many years ago. I think after he left prison, he started some computer company or something, some computer slash tech company, and died of natural causes. I don't think it was a heart attack. It might have been cancer or something like that, but he died very young. Jeff Gillooly, her ex-husband, I think is still alive. Nancy Kerrigan and Tonya Harding are still around, obviously. And, I think a few years ago there was a movie based on the events of January of 1994. But yeah, I still remember that. And I remember, like I said, I just remember how the mainstream media just absolutely destroyed Tonya Harding, and to a large degree, rightfully so. But I still can't help but think that Tonya wasn't as bad as the media made her out to be. I think, when you look at her upbringing, I also, if I remember correctly, someone in the comment section can verify this for me. I thought I even remember hearing her say that she was a victim of sex abuse growing up. So, she wasn't, she did some bad things, but I don't think she was a bad person. You know what I'm saying? I think part of her problem was that she got involved with bad people, and she went along with a bad plot. And it's not me trying to be a savior. I just from listening to her over the years, I don't think she's as bad as the media made out to be. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.